Hello my friends, welcome back to Ink and Fig. My name is Alex, and today I'm doing a slightly different layout for my monthly TBR video. I have wanted to try sort of a get ready with me kind of video for years. This is sort of healing my inner child a little bit. When I first started YouTube back when I was like 15 or 16, I really wanted to do beauty videos. So, in homage to younger me, we're going to do a get ready with me while I talk about my TBR. September went surprisingly really well. I read 4 books, 2 of which I have already talked about, and 2 more that I plan on talking about in one of my next videos, where I'm also going to be doing some unboxings because I haven't unboxed some of my book shipments in a couple of months. So I wanted to unbox them all with you because frankly, I forget what's in the boxes. So we're going to be doing that all together, and I'll tell you about the other 2 books that I read in September in that video. But leading into October, I do have some fresh books to pick from. The first one is, of course, Babel by R.F. Kuang. Now, admittedly, this one was on my September TBR, and I did start it, and I did do a pretty good job. I'm about a quarter of the way through, and so far, y'all, this book is kind of a masterpiece. My friend finished this before I even started, and her immediate response was, "This book is a masterpiece." And I was like, you know, if you say so, I believe you. And she was absolutely correct. So Babel is about a young boy whose real name we do not know. He adopts the name Robin Swift as sort of a white name after he is brought over from Canton, which I believe is Hong Kong, to Britain to basically be the ward of this rich white guy who seems to want to use him for linguistic magical purposes. We're heavily leaning into problems with white society in the early 1800s in this. I think it's set in the 1830s. And like, oh, it's messed up. Like, it's wild. So anyway, my plan in October is to finish that first and foremost, and then I have a couple of other books that I want to get to. Now, the name of the game I have decided in October is variety. I want to give myself a bunch of things to choose from so that I have options in case I feel more like mood reading. And let me tell you, I'm excited for some of these options. The first one I'm looking at is episode 13 by Craig DeLuey. This book is about sort of a ghost hunters kind of TV show, and they go into this house where something happened in the 1970s, and they're looking for the ghosts. Progressively over the course of the book, the ghosts are going to sort of reveal themselves to the cast and crew in presumably progressively more horrific ways. And like, as with a lot of people, I think way back in the day, I used to watch Supernatural, and some of my favorite episodes, unironically, were the Ghost Facers episodes, because I just find them absolutely hilarious. Like, they're ridiculous, but also, like, they're kind of a really good, like, what if? And admittedly, I do really like Phasmophobia, but I understand that we are not supporting Phasmophobia anymore because they are harboring some people who are not doing particularly savory things in terms of sexual assault and consent and stuff like that on their server. So we don't support Phasmophobia anymore, but it was a really good game and I loved it. And this is kind of going to be along the same lines. So I hate to say it, but I've got really high hopes for this book, and I hope that it's as good as I think it's going to be. I probably should be talking through like what I'm doing on my face in case you're interested in the makeup part. My foundation that I'm working with right now is the Glossier one. It's their new one. God, what is this called? The Stretch Fluid Foundation. I am in the color Very Light 3 because I am a pale bitch. So I got that going for me. The face bronzer you cannot get anymore. This was a special edition from MAC. It's from their Star Trek collection. It's called Highly Illogical, and it's like a face illuminator. So it kind of works like a contour, blush, and highlight all at the same time. We love to see it. I'm going to be doing my eyes next, and I am using the new Merit Solo Shadows. This is in the color Vachetta. I am dead for this color. It's so pretty. It kind of reminds me a lot of like Cork from MAC. The next book that I have on my list is The Girl from the Well by Rin Chupeco. I unfortunately have heard that Rin Chupeco is anti-black, which is not great. We hate that. But I already owned the book, and the book sounds really good, so I'm going to read it anyway. And then in my wrap up for that book, I'm going to go a little bit more in depth about what Rin Chupeco has done and said on a personal level, so that we are all aware of where this author is coming from, so that we can all make educated decisions on whether we choose to support their work or not. All right, so the next book on my list is a bold choice for me because I did not like Gods of Jade and Shadow, but I'm trying Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. This book I've heard, again, mixed things about, and I didn't like the last book from hers that I read, so I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about this. But again, it's one of those ones that I have owned for a while, and I really want to see how I feel about it. Because, you know, October is a time for vibes, you know what I mean? And nothing really screams October vibes to me more than a haunted house. And we have a very haunted house in Mexico. And I understand that some of our characters get stuck inside of this house because it doesn't want to let them go. And that seems very Haunting of Hill House to me. So I like that, and I'm looking forward to giving that a shot. Again, I don't want to keep my hopes up too high about that one, but like, I hope that at least the vibes hit, you know what I mean? Like, I just want it to be vibey and October-y and Halloween-y, and I just want to like enjoy my time. That was the NYX Epic Ink Liner in the pen form, because I find that I can get like the best wings with that. This is the One Size Powder Foundation. I love this, and I usually use this to mattify my face for filming, but today, for whatever reason, I think I'm just not as oily as I usually am, so I'm not using that right now, and that's fine. The next product, I really want to plug this because this is a very important company to me. I'm using the Cheekbone Beauty Brow Gel. Admittedly, this one is almost empty, so you're not going to see like the most impact from it, but I want to use this down to the very last drop because this in particular is spectacular. But Cheekbone Beauty in and of itself is a spectacular— oh my god, sorry if you can hear my neighbor's dog, he's losing it out there. This company is Indigenous created, Indigenous owned, and Indigenous operated. It started out as a company literally operating out of this woman's garage, and she's recently-ish partnered with Sephora, and her proceeds— she didn't make profit until relatively recently because she has committed to a dollar amount of her proceeds to go towards Indigenous youth getting education and getting opportunities and uplifting the younger generations in that community. So whatever you buy from Cheekbone is going to an absolutely fabulous cause, and frankly, all of their products that I've used so far are incredible. So definitely go check out Cheekbone if you have not recently. Now would be a good time to say that I'm not sponsored by everybody. I'm not sponsored by anything in this video. I just really, really believe in Cheekbone and in supporting Indigenous creators and Indigenous companies. Just moving on to mascara here. This is the Ilia one. It's fine. It's not my favorite, but it was free and it works. So those 4 books are what I have so far. I have one more on the list, and by God, I am so excited to read this book. I am slowly chipping away at the alchemy side quest for the Aurelium Readathon, and I have just gotten to a new prompt, and the new prompt is to reread a favorite book. And I'm sure you all know what exactly is about to pop up on the side of the screen. It's Gideon the Ninth. I've been wanting to reread this for a while, and I now have an excuse to do so. So I'm going to be rereading this month for sure. My expectations, I already know that they're going to meet them. That book's phenomenal. And now I'm actually really looking forward to reading it with more context, because the last time I read it, it was like a fresh read. Obviously, it was the first in the series. I had no idea what was going on, no idea who the characters were, no idea what anything meant. So now on a reread, I'm hoping to get more context out of this book, and just, oh, I can't wait to steep myself in those vibes again. Like, the vibes in that book are absolutely immaculate. And I will scream about the Locked Tomb until the end of time. So this lip color, if you're still following along for the makeup part, is the Glossier Ultra Lip in the color Cachet. So it's a really nice sort of 90s brown, and that's exactly what I am in for right now. So that's the makeup. That's the book list. I'm gonna take my hair down here. We're looking good. For October, this is my TBR. I'm really excited about this. So we've got Babel that I am going to finish, episode 13, The Girl from the Well, Mexican Gothic, and of course, the GOAT, Gideon the Ninth. So that's my list. That's what I'm hoping to accomplish in October. I think it's extremely doable, and I'm actually really looking forward to it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I always love having you here. Go ahead and follow me on all of my social media if you have not yet at Ink and Fig, so that you can keep up with me on basically everything. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what is on your TBR for October, because I would love to hear about what you're reading, and maybe I'll add it to my TBR too. Who knows? Give this video a like if you liked it, so that other people can come and join the fun, and subscribe if you have not yet subscribed, so that you don't miss any of the future fun here on our channel. Our channel, the Royal Hour. It's me. I'm the only one here. It's fine. That is it for today. Thank you again so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.